Have you ever pondered on the significance of the resurrection and victory of Jesus Christ? It's a question that stirs the mind, isn't it? Today we'll set out on an exploration, a journey through the timeless tale of the resurrection. We'll trace the chronological events that led to this momentous occasion and illuminate its profound implications. So are you ready to delve into this captivating narrative, to uncover the layers of history and faith? Join us as we journey through time, unraveling the story of the resurrection. Our journey begins with the Last Supper, a pivotal moment in the story of Christ. This was no ordinary meal, but one steeped in profound significance. It was an intimate gathering where Jesus sat with his disciples, sharing bread and wine, symbols of his body and blood. It was here, amidst the camaraderie, that Jesus made a startling prophecy. He spoke of his impending betrayal by one among them, a bitter truth that shook the disciples to their core. But even in this moment of impending darkness, there was a glimmer of hope, a promise of continuity. Jesus introduced the Holy Eucharist, a sacred ritual that would forever serve as a reminder of his sacrifice. "This is my body, this is my blood," he said, instituting a tradition that millions partake in even today. Little did the disciples know, this was just the beginning of a series of life-altering events. The stillness of the night was broken by the chilling events of betrayal and arrest. A familiar face, Judas, one of the 12, approached Jesus with a kiss. A sign of friendship turned into a signal of treachery. The clinking of Roman soldiers' armor echoed through the Garden of Gethsemane as they moved in to arrest Jesus. The disciples, once filled with the warmth of the Last Supper, were now consumed by confusion and fear. Peter, in a fit of rage, drew his sword, but Jesus urged him to sheath it. "Shall I not drink the cup the Father has given me?" he asked, displaying an unshakable resolve. As Jesus was led away, the disciples scattered, their hearts heavy with uncertainty. The master they had followed, loved, and believed in was now in the hands of those who wished him harm. With Jesus imprisoned, uncertainty filled the air. Amidst the rising sun, Jesus stood before Pilate, his fate hanging in the balance. The air was thick with tension, as the Son of God was brought forth to face the accusations leveled against him. A man of peace and love, Jesus was charged with inciting rebellion, a crime of utmost severity in the eyes of the Roman Empire. His opponents, a mix of religious leaders and influential figures, painted a picture of a dangerous revolutionary, a threat to the stability of the society. Yet as Pilate looked upon Jesus, he found no evidence of the malevolent figure described. Instead, he saw a man of humility, of compassion, whose teachings were of love and forgiveness. But the crowd was relentless, their cries for crucifixion echoing through the courtyard. Pilate, caught between the rock of justice and the hard place of mob rule, made a decision that would echo through the annals of time. He washed his hands, symbolically absolving himself of responsibility, and handed Jesus over to the will of the people. The sentence was passed, the cross was prepared. A man who had spent his life preaching peace and love was to meet his end in the most brutal way, nailed to a wooden cross. The die was cast, Jesus was to be crucified. On the hill of Golgotha, the prophecy was fulfilled. A chilling yet profound moment in history, the crucifixion of Jesus Christ is an event that resonates deeply with many to this day. The scene was somber, the sky overhead a daunting grey. Jesus, the man who had healed the sick, turned water into wine, and preached love and forgiveness, was now being led to his own execution. He was burdened not only by the weight of the wooden cross he was forced to carry, but also by the weight of the sins of mankind. A crown of thorns was violently pushed onto his head, a cruel mockery of his claim as the King of the Jews. The Roman soldiers showed no mercy as they drove nails into his hands and feet, affixing him to the cross. His pain was immense, his suffering unimaginable. Yet in the midst of this torment, Jesus looked on those who had wronged him not with hatred, but with compassion. His final words were a testament to the depth of his mercy and love. "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing," he implored, even as he hung on the cross. In his last moments, he assured a fellow crucified criminal of their place in paradise, saying, "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." As the hours passed, Jesus uttered a heart-wrenching cry, my God, why have you forsaken me?" A poignant expression of his human vulnerability and the depth of his suffering. His final words, "It is finished," marked the completion of his divine mission. And then, he breathed his last. His head fell to his chest, his body went limp. The earth quaked, the sky darkened. and it seemed as if all hope was lost. But little did they know, this was not the end, but merely the beginning of the greatest miracle mankind would ever witness. Jesus breathed his last, and it seemed as if all hope was lost. But death could not hold him. On the third day Jesus rose, just as he had foretold. An event of profound significance, the resurrection of Jesus Christ is not only a testament to his divine power, but also a beacon of hope and salvation for Christians worldwide. In the gloomy hours of the early morning, when the world was yet to shake off the shackles of sleep, an event of cosmic proportions unfolded. The tomb, where Jesus' body was laid after his crucifixion, was found empty. The stone that had been sealing the entrance was rolled away, and the body of Jesus was nowhere to be found. The first to discover this were a group of women, including Mary Magdalene, who had come to anoint Jesus' body with spices. Imagine their astonishment, their fear, their confusion, and ultimately, their joy when they realized what had happened. Jesus, their Lord, their teacher, their friend, had risen from the dead. This news was relayed to the disciples, who initially struggled to comprehend the magnitude of what they were hearing. Doubts and disbelief clouded their minds. It was only when Jesus appeared to them, showing his hands and side, that they truly understood. Their sorrow turned into joy, their doubt into belief. The Master they had mourned was alive. But what does the resurrection mean for Christians? It's a symbol of hope, a promise of redemption. It demonstrates that death is not the end, but a gateway to eternal life. It shows that Jesus, the Son of God, has the power to conquer death, the most feared of all human experiences, and in doing so, offers the same victory to those who believe in him. This event is the cornerstone of Christian faith, the proof of Jesus' divinity, and the fulfillment of the scriptures. It is a powerful reminder that God's love is stronger than death, that light can triumph over darkness, and that hope can rise from despair. In his resurrection, Jesus claimed victory over death, offering hope and salvation to all. So what does the resurrection story tell us? Well, it's a tale of love, sacrifice, and the ultimate triumph over death. It begins with the Last Supper, an intimate gathering where Jesus shared a final meal with his disciples. From there, we moved on to the betrayal and arrest, a somber episode that set the stage for what was to come. The trial that followed was a testament to the enduring strength of Jesus in the face of adversity. And then came the crucifixion, a moment of profound sacrifice, where Jesus gave up his life for all of humanity. But the story didn't end there. With the resurrection, Jesus overcame death, demonstrating the unfathomable power of divine love. Each of these moments holds deep significance in the Christian faith, reminding us of the boundless love and grace that define it. The resurrection is not just a historical event, but a testament of faith, hope, and the victory of love over death. As we conclude our journey, let's reflect on one final thought. This narrative of resurrection, of triumph over the unthinkable, is not just a story but a beacon of hope, a source of strength. It's a testament of resilience that resonates within each of us. It challenges us to rise above our own trials, to find victory in our battles. It's a call to embrace the power of second chances, of new beginnings. Remember, the resurrection story is a reminder that even in the darkest times, there is always hope for a new beginning.